Guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Buddyfight channel. So today I'm gonna do a deck profile on my own Laevatinn Abyss deck. A very strong card from the brand new set SBT01A. Yeah, we got a brand new card, Laevatinn Abyss. And with that, let's get right on with the deck profile. So of course for the Laevatinn deck, it's a must play. We don't really run that many items because monsters are really the only cards you most of the time want, and your drop zone really wants to be filled. So the only items we run are 4 copies of this card. School Campus level 3, the third toilet before you. Put the top 3 cards of your deck in a soul, pay to gauge. When you attack, remove a soul. There are no souls, call a toilet from your hand or drop zone by paying its cost. So you combo that card with these 2 cards. Reborn the Hanako in the toilet and the Hanako in the toilet. They can only be entered the field by toilet effects. When she enters, she returns everything and deals damage. When she enters, you gain life and destroy cards equal to the you destroy cards equal to and you gain life equal to the number of cards destroyed. They both have triple attack, 729 and 927 stats respectively, and they also are fodder for the next card. The Robo of the Urban Legends Hanako WC can attack during the final phase, send a toilet item from the drop zone, and then she restands. So most of the time you can build up 4 because of the power of this deck. And you might be wondering how you call her out. Well, we'll get right on to that right at the end of the video. Not really the end, but almost at the end of the deck profile. I'll explain how. Next up, we run a very toolbox card, 4 copies of Paper Eater Movement, pay a gauge and add any toilet from your deck into your hand and shuffle your deck. So you can add the Hanako, the third toilet before you, or even the Impact or DZ Dracula. So yeah, this card is a very good card, a good card for toolboxing. That's why we run 4 copies of her. Very good card for filtering as well. Next up, 3 copies of DZ Dracula. A fantastic card for filtering. And again, it's a very good toolbox as well. When she enters, you drop any toilet from your deck into your drop zone. Most of the time you want to drop Hanako. Or either Hanako to call them out with the toilet. Or maybe even drop this Hanako WC to call them out with the toilet. Sometimes you might even want to drop the toilet just to activate Hanako WC's effect. And her second effect is very strong as well. When she's put from the field into the drop zone, somehow charge a gauge and put up to 1 soul from a card on the field into the drop zone. So imagine you're fighting a Jaeger, just remove a soul and get to charge a gauge as well. Very strong card. Next up, 3 copies of Dainty Wind Sylph. When she enters, you can drop the top 3, put any number of Wider Circle and Fairy from mind them into your gauge, and you gain a life for each card put. So you can basically, if you got all 3 are fairies, you can charge 3, gain 3, or if you somehow top 3 the 1 toilet and there is no other way for it to go into the drop zone from your gauge, you can just straight send it into your drop zone and don't get the life buff. So that's why she's very good for toolboxing as well. Her second effect is also just as great. Start of the attack phase, there are 3 or more Wider Circle and Fairy for this turn. All cards get additional plus 3k power, crit, and penetrate. That means it lingers even after she's pushed off. For example, for Hanako, Hanako still gets the crit, or if you call WC in the final phase, WC still gets the crit. So 3 copies of Dainty Wind Sylph, because it's not that hard to draw into her, since the toilet deck right now in my build, it filters really well. Next up, 1 copy of Loki the Guys. When this card enters, put all souls from a card on the field into the drop zone. She 305 stats, you won't really use it. We only run 1 now because there is a new spell and there are ways to remove souls even without using him. But it's just good in case you fight center heavy decks like you're fighting Atora. If their souls can be dropped, use this card and drop all their souls. That's it. Next up, 3 copies of Valkyrie All-Knowing Widow. No explanations needed. When she is dropped, charge and draw. Run 3 copies because we don't drop not a lot of ways to drop cards in my deck. There's only 2 ways in fact, but she is good against Godpunk because when Godpunk makes you discard, you can discard her and charge and draw. Very good. Next up, 3 copies of another Valkyrie. Scout the Laevatinn of the Future. Pay to get your top card into the soul. 735 stats, move and soul guard. Discard a card from your hand. If you do look at the top 3 cards from the top of your deck or your opponent's deck, put them back in any order on the top of your deck, then draw a card. If you discarded Widow, I recommend just looking at your deck so that you know what card you're going to charge. If you're not discarding Widow, I recommend you look at your opponent's deck because just in case you have, for example, Yongo Guard, or population reduction in your hand, you can just draw 2 straight from the top 3, which means there's no point of you even looking at your top 3. She's a very good card to manipulate you and your opponent's deck. Not at the same time, but either one. To force out any cards that your opponent will have. Or you can plan your steps right ahead because you know what cards your opponent is going to draw into. So yeah, 3 copies of Valkyrie, Sculpt, the Laevatinn of the future. Next up, 1 copy of Chaos Alberian, 1 copy of Fairy King Oberon, and 1 copy of Overturn Miserian. I'll go through the effects one by one. So Alberian's effect, when he's put from the field into the drop zone, mill 2 and draw a card. Good filtering card, and good if you need, like, if you manage to dump out a toilet into the drop zone, it'll be very strong. That's what makes this Laevatin's deck's filtering really powerful, because of cards like him. Then we run, let's go with Oberon first. Pay 2 gauge if there are a total of 7 or more hero and fairy in your drop zone. Nullify all abilities of all monsters on your opponent's field. We run a lot of fairies in this deck, and we run a few heroes as well, which means his effect will be online 99% of the time. But we run 1 copy because we have ways to get him back, and I'll explain them next. Up, we run 1 copy of Overturn Ice Emperor Miseria. The only reason I run him is because we play Lost World. Basically, it's not really needed in most scenarios, because once your toilet's out, you don't really want it to go back to your deck. But when you have him on Lost World, you can pay the 2 gauge for the overturn cost, and then you can send all cards back. But because you're in a Lost deck, you can only send your Lost World cards back to the deck. Then you can draw 6 Lost World cards and charge 2 cards back into your gauge, which gives you it's a -2. Basically, it's a +6 from 2 gauge. Your hand goes up by 6 lost cards, and your gauge goes up by 2 as well, which makes him very, very powerful when you be lost. That's the only reason why I run OT Miseria okay? Not many reasons otherwise. Then for the last monster you run, 1 copy of a Nameless Valkyrie. When he enters, you can choose a size 3 monster in your drop zone and pay a life if you do add the chosen card. That's why I only run 1 copy of Miseria, Oberon, Alberian. Sometimes you also want to fetch back Valkyrie. So yeah, with that, that's it for the monsters. Next up, we go on to the spells. For the Laevatinn deck, we run 4 copies of Classroom in the Dead of the Night. A very, very strong card for the Laevatinn deck. Cost, drop all souls from a toilet. So that's how you drop one of the other ways to drop your toilet into 0 souls. Charge 2 and draw 2. Very, 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 very strong card. Even if your opponent spells now this, your toilet will still be left with 0 soul, which means there's the only sad part is it doesn't say drop as many. If it said drop as many, we will just drop 2 and then another 1 when your opponent is attacking, because it's a counter effect. That's what makes Classroom in the Dead of the Night so deadly. No pun intended, but yep, it's a very powerful card. Charge 2, draw 2 with basically a free cost, because dropping also from the toilet is just an additional plus point to us, and you can charge 2 and draw 2. A very, very powerful card. It's trying to mimic Professor Mandro, the size 0 that got banned unfortunately, but it's fine. I mean, it does drop the consistency of this deck, not by a lot now with the new support, but it still dropped the consistency of deck. But it's still a really fun and powerful deck to play. It can really pack a punch and rush your opponent out in certain scenarios. Next up, 3 copies of Yongo Guard. Cast cost, discard a card from hand and draw 2. Really just discard. If you had Elwin in your hand, just discard him, draw 2, charge and draw. Just a very good card to run. 3 copies, because the filtering in the deck is crazy. 3 copies of Oswira Guard. So this is the promo edition, this is the promo version, this is the actual card. So cost, put a monster from the field in the drop zone, charge and draw. Very good card. Also good to combo together with this card, DZ Dracula, because you can put it from the field to the drop zone and charge and draw. 3 copies. It's also a counter effect, so you can use it on your opponent's turn. Nice. Next up, 2 copies of population reduction. I run 2 copies because we only run 4. Actually, no, yeah, 4 size trees that we want to put from field into drop zone. So if you can, you would want to use her. Use it. Pay a life and put a size tree or greater from the field in the drop zone and draw 2. Very strong card. It doesn't minus anything, because sometimes you have Oberon on the field, but you want to call Hanako. You use this card and drop the Oberon and draw 2 from that. So yeah, very powerful. Next up, the defense cards in the Laevatinn deck. 2 copies of Great Spell, Wider Start, whatever it's called. You may cast this card at the end of the first battle during your opponent's turn. Pay 2 gauge, pay 2 life, and end the attack phase. Very strong. It's only reason why we don't actually have to run shields, and also because the toilet is a counter effect. So Hanako can return cards on your opponent's field or destroy cards even on your opponent's turn. Next up, 4 copies of the Spell Now. Breath Guard is very strong spell now. It can not only just nullify a spell, you can also choose to destroy a spell instead of nullifying a spell on your opponent's field. It does have a hectic cost of 2 gauge, but it's a you can't argue about the cost of a spell. Okay, it's a spell now. Okay, spell nows are supposed to be powerful, overpowered. You can't argue about the cost there. So yeah, 4 copies. I mean, you could I think you'd rather want it to be a pay to life, but I wouldn't want it to go for the pay to life, because our life can drop pretty low sometimes, because Wider Stat already pays our life. So yeah, I rather pay 2 gauge, because gauge sometimes isn't a problem, because we can steamroll our deck, or the whole deck into the gauge sometimes. That's why I also sometimes run out of resources, because I overuse that. Next up, for the impact, 2 copies of On Throne Go Hanako WC. Cast cost, pay a gauge. Choose and use one of the following 2. Most of the time you use the first effect. Then if you have 2 in the hand, you use the second effect as well. Size 3 or greater toilet on the field. Equip a toilet item from the drop zone without paying a cost. Which means if you have Hanako on the field, you can equip a toilet from the drop zone. Then you can drop the toilet from the effect and call it WC. That's how you use WC to rush for another 5 attacks, which means 1 turn you can minimally, I would say most of the time, you can do 9 to 11 attacks. At 9 to 13 attacks with 3 gauge, 4 gauges. 4 gauge you can do 13 attacks. Sometimes all of them being a 3 crit swing, which means a 36 damage, 39 damage with only 4 gauge, and 13 attacks with this toilet deck. Yes, it makes X-Tempest Ulti Buster free. This is why the Laevatinn deck is really, I would say, underrated, but very strong deck right now, currently in Singapore. And the second effect, put up to 2 toilet from the deck into the drop zone and shuffle your deck. So if you have Hanako WC already on the field, just drop another 2 of the toilet into the drop zone, and then you shuffle your deck. And the last card we run is the only, is it the only? I don't think it's the only. I mean, if you don't count the dual world, it's the only card that is not a legend world. We run 2 copies of Lost World. No explanations needed. You should already know what Lost World's effect is. Be lost, put it on top of your flag, and you gain sick abilities. I'm not going to go through my Lost World deck, because I wouldn't want to. There's no specific deck list for your Lost World deck. It really depends on how you would want to play your deck. And the Lost World is, I don't really go in the Lost World unless I'm on death row and I've a few cards left in the deck, and I'm gonna die if I don't continue next turn. But most of the time I also don't Lost World if I do not have Overturn Misery in my hand, because I'm a greedy human being. But yep, we run 2 copies of Lotso as the last 2 cards of the deck, just in case you deck out. And with that, that's it for my Laevatinn Abyss deck. I'm sorry for trolling you guys for the intro of this video. No, it's not a Laevatinn deck. It is a toilet deck built by me and my friend, which I'm not gonna mention his name just in case he doesn't want me to disclose his name. Yep, it's a very strong rush deck. Rushes really hard, and I found it, I wouldn't say I found it a pain because it's my deck, but it really packs a punch when your combos go off. It's almost impossible to stop when your combos go off with this deck. That makes this deck rushing ability increase 10-fold. I would say right now it can still rush as strong as the time. It's not as consistent as the time we had Menjo, but it can still rush just like the old days where Toilet was really dominating the meta. So, and with that, that's it for my Laevatinn, I mean Toilet deck profile. Sorry for trolling you guys once again. I hope you don't mind. I mean, it's fun, okay? I like to troll people and my buddies. In my Oppressed deck, I also troll people off. So with that, leave a comment and leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below what deck you might want to see next. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!